Grief, grief. Um, yeah, hopefully this everyone's doing well. Talking about grief again. I dropped a couple vids recently, just starting the story really, starting the accounts, but as is with grief, there's twists and turns. I thought that it would probably be more about losing my mom. I thought that my focus on grief would more surround death, but events the last couple of days have actually um, pointed out that grief is more than just that. I'm currently doing this video parked up outside a high security prison where someone I love dearly is on the other side. Brought my kids, my wife. We're here to visit a loved one, and it really hits that grief is also in this situation because we're all grieving a loved one that, due to circumstances, is behind the wall and has lost their freedom. Celebrated a few birthdays without this person, celebrated Christmas, celebrated milestones without this person, and my kids grieve, I grieve. This is someone that I love dearly, and it it just brings home how grief is like the wind, how grief is like water sometimes, where we can't really control how and what it does. It's all about taking the hits as they come. It's all about finding release from whatever that grief is. Equally, I've experienced recently, when I say experience, I've seen someone go through a breakup, relationship breakup. That is also grief. So when we talk about grief, grief isn't, as I said, just someone passing away, because someone behind a prison door for a long period of time, even if it's a short period of time, also causes grief, because there is that disconnect, there is that individual that you won't see for some time as and when you want. So there are times when you miss that person. There are times that milestones go by. I spoke about losing my mom. Not wasn't there when I turned 18. When I became a man, as in the age that you're a man, my mom wasn't there. When I got married, my mom wasn't there. When my daughter born, my mom wasn't there. When my son was born, my mom wasn't there. When I got my first promotion at work, my mom wasn't there. When I reached different levels, different received different accolades in life, there wasn't a mom to say, to share that with. And equally, a loved one is behind bars, not physically able to experience some of these things. Life continues, things move on. Um, just looking at the last 3 years, how technology itself has moved on, it's absolutely crazy. And as I said, it's for me, it's just shedding light that grief is real. We talk a lot about um, mental health, but I see grief in a lot of mental health situations because we all have different triggers. There are different things that trigger us to grieve. And, there are different things that trigger our mental health. Someone could go bonkers. Someone could, end up getting addicted to something because of grief. So there is help out there, but I think the key or the biggest help is one, being able to create safe spaces for people to share what they're going through, how they're feeling, without feeling judged, without feeling like they've done something wrong. For too long, it because you don't know what someone's going through in regards to you're not feeling the same way, doesn't make it wrong that someone's feeling a certain type of way. So, if you're there and you see someone going through an element of grief, the least you can do, in my opinion, is be that shoulder to cry on. We don't always need advice. Sometimes we just need someone to listen. We just need someone to listen and not judge. We just need someone to let us cry, hand us a tissue, hand us a bottle of water just so that we can catch our breath. Because sometimes this thing called grief, it just hits you for six. So honestly, let's keep continue to support each other. There are times you feel like cry. There are times you see someone going through something, just be that shoulder to cry on. Let's create more safe spaces for people to be able to release the grief because it can be very, very crippling. Again, I will continue to talk about this, but right now it's really about understanding grief. As I said, it shows up in different ways. It's not only death, there are different ways and different types of grief. So if you're out there and you're struggling, do reach out to someone. Let's be our brother's keeper. Let's support each other.